Greetings from the Sonoran Desert of southern Arizona. Sometimes kids come to us with questions out of nowhere, out of the blue, and we may ask ourselves, where'd you come up with that? Where'd you hear about that? But kids, they're curious about the world, they're learning new things, and sometimes they want to see how things work that they've learned about, and they'll go off on their own to try to find the answer, sometimes not with perhaps the safest results. Let me give a couple of examples. Early in my elementary education, we learned about how electricity works in school. I thought, oh, wow, that's neat. Electricity is conducted to metal. It travels along metal. I want to see how that works. I want to see for myself. So I went home, took a coat hanger, unwound it, stuck it in an electric socket, and boom, sparks fly. The power in the house goes out. My mother comes into the room asking, what happened? What's going on? I explained it to her, what I was doing, why I was doing it. She didn't get upset with me. She just said that, I understand you're learning new things, but with electricity, this is not the way to go about learning about it. If you have questions about it, ask me. Another time, when I was just a small child, a toddler, I was walking past a gas stove. The burners were on, pots were on the burner, and I looked up and thought, wow, fire. How does that work? What's that like? I'll find out. So I took a stool, climbed up on the stove, sat between the burners, put my hand near the burner, was saying, hot, hot. My mother walks in the kitchen, sees what's going on. It's a wonder she didn't freak out. Well, maybe she did, but she pulled me off the stove and said, okay, you want to find out, how fire works, what it's like. I'll show you. She takes a piece of paper, puts it on the flame bursts into fire. My eyes get really wide. Didn't have to say another word about that. And these are some points we're going to, there is a point to this, and we're going to return to it. But it's, no different with religion. Sometimes the questions may seem really innocent, but they may have deep theological meaning to them. Sometimes kids may ask questions that are, using the slang expression, the elephant in the room. But, it's great they are thinking about it. As a parent, you're doing a good job pointing them into their thoughts into that direction, because there are lots of other things, they could be thinking of instead. So how do you answer it? Well, first, let me say there must be an answer, because if they don't get an answer from you, they're going to keep asking the question until they do. And perhaps asking others to whom you would not want them to ask. As with the electricity or stove burner, they may go to the wrong places for the answer, and they may get burned. But the questions must be answered. When I was 9 years old, I asked my pastor, well, tell me about the end of the world. The reply I got was, don't worry about it. Christ is in control. Christ will take care. Well, that's a true statement, but it doesn't really answer my question. So sometime later, ask another pastor, the same question, and it got the same answer. Especially in areas of, Revelation and the end of the world, that's a topic that one could get some dangerous answers on, especially, from the wrong person. There are, a lot of fringe groups out there, occultists, that will be happy to provide the answer to the child, and that's certainly not an answer we would want. So, and how do you answer it? Well, first of all, you know your children. You know what they're capable of understanding. Their level of development. You know how they connect to learning, and it can be explained in terms that they can understand. There are over 100 verses in Scripture referring to faith of children. They do have faith, so they are capable of understanding. You can help develop it. They're small branches on the trunk of growing from the trunk of Christ. We can look at Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Suppose I ask a question you don't know the answer to. Well, this is a great experience for learning together. You can tell the child, great question. You know what? Together, let's find out. Together, we'll find the answer on it. And so you can, go look into scripture. You can, look at children's materials on the subject from, reputable, Christian sources with that. And so, you can, again, sit down and really, work with them together as a sort of a bonding opportunity to find the answer. Next, is prayer. Pray for guidance on it. Also, you can ask them, so you answer the question, as best as you can, and you ask them, well, how do you feel about that? Well, do you understand it now? Is there more you want to know about it? Did I answer your question? But they need to get an answer because they will get one. The question then becomes what and from whom. Otherwise, like the electricity and the burner, it could be a harmful one. Thanks